Hello and welcome everybody to another great episode of WorkPoint 365 Explorer. I hope you already know me, but if not, I'm Florian Neuhold and I'm working for WorkPoint and I will be your host in this show. So today we talk about, for me, one of the strongest products of WorkPoint. But we have to say it is more than a product. It changed the way you work in a daily basis. And it's very, very interesting to see how this works. So you're totally right. We are talking about WorkPoint and Microsoft Teams better together. Today we have another special guest. We have again Dominick Cosgrove, our CPO of WorkPoint, in our show, and I'm very happy to have you here again. Hello, Dom.
Thanks, Florian. It's great to be back.
So, Dom, we start directly into the questions. So, through the COVID-19 pandemic, we saw and we realized that we have to find solutions in the daily work, how we work, which ways we work, how we communicate. So how WorkPoint helps the end user to work better, faster, easier, and also more efficient in Microsoft Teams?
Yes, Florian, it's a very good point. And, the pandemic has seen a widespread adoption of Teams. And in many cases, it's been very much a tactical solution to support the hybrid work, especially for communications, But we're now entering a new era of how people will work in the future. Hybrid is becoming the new norm, and Teams or Microsoft Teams will be the tool that supports that. So for WorkPoint, communication management and collaboration has been at the center of the product since we launched many years back. For instance, our WorkPoint Express add-in for Outlook was designed to manage emails and attachments. Our WorkPoint 365 product is all about structuring collaboration spaces in a logical and standard way to allow users to easily find and work efficiently with their content across the organization. So we've taken that thinking into Microsoft Teams as we see the same challenges are rising that we saw when we first built WorkPoint, but this time in Microsoft Teams. So, for instance, we see that many organizations are starting to see Teams chaos, especially because they've done that tactical deployment of Teams where, teams are being created without any governance. There's multiple teams being created for the same purpose, with the same name, without owners, with no common structure. There's no common channels or tabs. They're just being created very ad hoc. So we see that challenge. And likewise, we see also many people are moving away from the traditional emails and using chat as the main form of communication. And I certainly know the number of emails I receive and send on a daily basis has dropped dramatically. But what I don't think people are recognizing is that those chats are just as important as emails. Decisions are being made. They contain a lot of important information. So how is that information stored and managed and kept as even a record? And we're also seeing that Teams is now becoming the de facto tool for collaboration. And that's certainly how Microsoft are positioning it. And I think we'll see future enhancements in that space. And as a result, people don't want to have to switch between multiple apps to get their jobs done. They want to do everything in Teams. So I think what we're doing, and to maybe answer your question, is how do we make people's lives easier? We address these challenges. So we are now bringing WorkPoint into Teams. So all the features that you know and love of WorkPoint will be available directly in Teams. We bring the structure and the governance into Teams. So the overall user experience is improved. And, there's not this chaos that we've seen. And also, as I said about the chat side of things, we treat chats like email, an important asset within an organization. So how do you record that? How do you save that? So that information isn't lost or isn't just within a chat between two people. So that's where we're really focused on, and I think that's where we kind of make people's lives easier because we remove that chaos and we introduce that governance.
So communication is always the key for a efficient and a good collaboration. So, but what would you say, what can WorkPoint do on top of communication in Microsoft Teams?
Yeah, so I guess during the pandemic, as I said, it was very tactical in many times. The organizations most probably focused on Microsoft Teams for calling video meetings, those sort of things to solve that hybrid work problem. However, Microsoft Teams is a lot more than video calls and meetings. It's all about people chatting, creating content, document pages, lists, sharing content, working on tasks, all within the team. So, but no matter what way people use it, they have the same common problems. So a simple example is that when you're chatting with someone about a project or a case, the user would normally need to leave the chat to maybe go and find information about that project or case, look it up in a different system or look it up in a browser or within Outlook or something like that. Or wouldn't it be great if they could get all that information about a project or a case directly from within the chat and be able to send that information directly to the person they're chatting with without leaving the conversation thread? And that's exactly what we do with our bot functionality. And another example is that we've all become members of many teams. I know in my day-to-day job, I'm probably a member of 30, 40 teams. And that's a common thing that we see. So whilst it is great to be a member of all those teams, it can be really frustrating to find them in a long list of teams. And especially in the Teams interface, it's not designed, or it most probably is designed, but it's not the best structure. So we solve this by not only through our intelligent bot being able to find things, but also through our WorkPoint builder for Microsoft Teams, which allows you to build apps for Microsoft Teams with no code. And that brings the teams you use on a day-to-day basis into focus, removing that noise that's commonplace in Microsoft Teams.
So, sometimes in school you have to answer directly a question without preparation. So can you show us how it would look like to create a new project or a new case directly in Teams?
Yeah, I'd love to. We purposely made it really easy for not only the end user, but also more important, and just importantly, the system administrator. So we built this WorkPoint builder for Microsoft Teams, which is a no-code solution. So you don't even need to know anything. And then in less than 5 minutes, you can create this app and publish it. So the first way I'm going to show you is that you can go to the app you created. This is one we created before. You can click on the new project tab and fill out the information about that project. The second way, which is what I talked about with the bot, you can interact. So I'll show you that now. So from the Teams command bar or message bar, you can just call the bot with the app name and then say select or create new project, and now you can fill out our wizard and fill out the information. And it's really that easy. And as I say already, that there's no development skills required here. It is a no-code solution when you're using our WorkPoint builder for Microsoft Teams.
So you said I can have my whole WorkPoint solution in Microsoft Teams. But is it also possible just to have specific projects or cases in Microsoft Teams as a team, for example?
Yeah, so we've really focused on bringing all the richness of Microsoft Teams all the richness of WorkPoint into Microsoft Teams. And just to answer your question, yes, you can bring the whole solution into your WorkPoint app, but it's just as easy to create an app for a specific project or case. Whilst WorkPoint Builder for Microsoft Teams is brilliant and I'm a massive fan, there are other ways to tackle that as well. So, for instance, our Teams templating feature ensures all projects are created equally with the same structure. So, the same channels, the same tabs, the same settings, the same permissions. So you could also, of course, use that to template your teams and create specific projects or cases, the team cases.
So, okay. What is also very, very interesting for me, and I think also for the viewers on our channel, is what is the experience or the feedback of our existing customers. So can you tell us a little bit, maybe to get some or to hear some feedback from customers? What do they think about our integration or our integration with Microsoft Teams?
Yeah, and it's a great question, and the feedback's been really positive. It's been brilliant. We obviously love to hear how our customers are actually using WorkPoint in Microsoft Teams. It is an integration, but I also see it as a solution. So integration sounds quite technical, but it is a solution. It's for the product. And what we're seeing definitely, and what we're hearing from our customers, is that they want more functionality. They want to all of WorkPoint in Teams. So, rather than them going from Outlook or to a browser to Teams, they want everything within Teams. So we're going to be continuously bringing more and more WorkPoint functionality into Teams and provide that tighter integration, as you kind of say. So we are definitely hearing from the market. We're definitely hearing from our customers that they want more in Teams. Some of our customers are saying that they only want to work in Teams, which is really positive. We're going to be following and working very closely with Microsoft to understand where they are, where they're going. Teams is relatively young. We've heard, recent announcements that there's going to be a new Teams client. So Microsoft are on that journey, and we'll be definitely part of that journey with them. And I think overall, the future of collaboration and communication is really exciting, especially when you look at it from a Teams perspective. So I look forward to seeing what the future brings and what Microsoft will do to allow us to bring more and more functionality into Microsoft Teams.
In my opinion, I said it before, it's one of the biggest benefits for the end user, the product. So it's possible to work, to chat, to create documents, tasks, whatever, directly through Teams in your WorkPoint solution. So that's for me unbelievable. So thank you very much, Dom, to be here. It was a pleasure to have you once again in our show, and thank you very much for the inside view of WorkPoint and Microsoft Teams in Better Together. So that's it for today in WorkPoint 365 Explorer. Please go on our channel, and then you can see more WorkPoint news and more WorkPoint information. So thanks for watching and have a nice day. Bye.